Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out. Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out. Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Two Middle-Aged Guys Trying to Work It All Out. I'm Chris, and with me today is...
Myra. Oh, no, I'm...
No.
Sorry. No, that's me. I'm Dave.
Yeah. But you I don't even know where to take the conversation.
I know. I did this on purpose. I thought I was sort of... Can I throw Chris off in the intro?
Okay. So what... Please, other guest, explain why Dave introduced himself as Myra.
Because that's my name. And
oh, okay. And who are you?
your daughter.
Ah, my daughter. Yes, my daughter Palmyra is joining us today on the episode for a kind of a revisit of a discussion that we've had before. But before we get into that and before we get into all of the wonderful things we have planned, I need to let the audience know that I am in a remote TMAG studio today. We have pocket studios throughout the country. Dave and I do a lot of jet setting, so we need to be able to record at a moment's notice. And we've just created these little, maybe bunker is a term that could be used to describe them. Yeah. So we, keypads, security checks, iris scans, all that kind of thing. We get access. We can record. It's fantastic technology. So if I sound a little bit different,
I had suggested you take the mobile studio, but it was getting fitted with some new bulletproof technologies.
The van.
The mobile van.
Exactly right. Yeah. So I'm just in one of our bunkers tonight. So anyway, that's my story. But Dave, why don't you tell the listening audience what we're here to discuss today?
Well, we are revisiting a topic that we covered in one of our earliest episodes. I believe it was our 5th episode. I'm pretty sure it is. And that is the topic of digital versus physical in media and in the way we consume movies, TV, the way we play games, the way we read books, even things about our life like our finances, our taxes, money, transferring money, how that works for us in this new digital age and what we prefer. And Chris and I had a long and robust conversation as we tried to do every episode about this topic. And we thought it would be fun, it would be enlightening to revisit this and bring in someone that has a different point of view, that has maybe from a point of view from another generation, a newer, better generation, some might say. Not me, because I'm an old man yelling at the clouds and telling people of this generation to get off my lawn. But that's why Myra's here, is you're representing, hundreds of millions of kids around the world.
My best.
Yeah, so I hope, so now you're representing them. You're going to speak for an entire generation. Like I hope you're drinking a Pepsi, because I believe that's also the drink of a new generation. So
I do have Coke, but I don't have Pepsi.
Coke is the drink of an old generation. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to drink that. We thought it would be fun to have you here. So thank you for joining us. No pressure, speaking for hundreds of millions of people.
None felt.
So I thought it would be fun, right? We're introducing you, Chris's daughter, to our audience. I thought it'd be fun to have a little calibration, a little game where I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to maybe help get our listeners a chance to get to know you and to get a sense of where you are on some different sort of topics, areas related to this, what we're going to be talking about today. So,
Okay.
Are you ready for this? Are you okay?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So, question 1. When is the last time you listened to the radio?
Today, actually.
Today, like the real radio, like an FM or AM or even satellite.
FM,
okay.
yeah.
FM.
I never listened to AM. I'm not really a satellite person, but FM radio. I did listen to. My car sometimes fights me with Bluetooth, so
sure.
I turn on the radio when that happens. And today was one of those days.
All right, I truly didn't expect that. What did you listen to?
the pop music
Yeah.
station, and then I got bored with it, and so I switched to the rock station, and I think they were playing the Killers.
Well, hey, the Killers are a favorite of this show. Was
I
Dick
know,
was
yeah.
Dick Clark spitting the tunes? Was he the DJ with the records?
No,
The
they
kids
don't
love
have
Dick
that
Clark.
where I am. I don't even know that I paid attention to who it was. I think I was just focused on the music. I was raised to turn the volume down when the ads came
When the
on.
ads come on,
so.
yeah. No, that's fair. All right. Just curiosity. Do you ever use satellite radio like Sirius XM or whatever they call it now?
I do, but I don't like that they make you pay for it.
Yeah.
I like to use it with my nanny, and I like to use it with my kids because they have like kid-friendly channels.
They do. Yeah. Yeah, we have that in one of our vehicles. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Totally shocked. I did not know. I didn't know kids
I
listened.
was raised with a 4-speaker boombox that sat on my bedstand, and I listened to that every night. Every night I'd turn it on, and I'd put a cassette in, and I'd listen to the radio, and I'd get in trouble because it was too loud at 1 a.m.
Was it like that? Were you? I don't know. This may be a reference you don't get, but the Michael Jackson black or white video
Yeah.
with okay, you know that where you turn that racket down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
I
like
think
that.
it took 8 D batteries, and I'm pretty sure that I always heard a grumble when I forgot to plug it in, and those died.
Did you put it on your shoulder and hold it and dance around? And
I don't remember.
No, she'd hold it above her head,
Above her head,
and,
right.
and play Peter
Yes,
Gabriel
Peter
out of
Gabriel.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what would happen.
oh, all right, okay, all right, fascinating. Next question. Do you use what social media do you use? Facebook, Instagram? What's your preferred one?
My preferred one is Instagram, but I do use more. I use Facebook mostly for communicating with family. Facebook is kind of, it's in, but it's out, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's out for cool people. It's in for older people.
I would say a lot of people my age use it. Well, I don't know, but a lot of people my age that I know use it for Facebook Marketplace, and that's it.
I do the same. So
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
All right. Insta. I was
Instagram's probably
expecting
the one I use
Insta,
most.
which I call it that because I'm cool.
Yeah.
I call it the gram.
The
to
gram.
offset
Yeah.
you calling it Insta. Yeah. So that way it still balances
Is it like calling YouTube the tube?
the tube. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
Tube. Okay, got it.
Chris, do you use Instagram?
No,
I don't either.
Not a bit.
I don't either. I like when somebody sends me something I have to click on. Like, oh, I gotta go in.
He doesn't even use Facebook. I don't even think
No.
that the profile picture that he has on Facebook is updated.
Probably not.
I think it's been the same picture.
The only reason I have a Facebook account is so that your mother can be married to me on Facebook. That's
Yes.
Otherwise I would not have an account at all. So
I think he was like super against me getting it when I did. And I think I was 16 when I got social media.
I think you were older. I think I made you wait till
No.
you were 17.
No, it was 2020.
No, was it 16?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
right after COVID locked down everything. And we were sitting on your bed, and I said, "Can I finally have Instagram?" And you were so exhausted from being stuck in the house for forever that you said yes.
So it was under like a haze brain fog situation. Okay, that makes sense.
You remember when Sean brought you a water bottle and was like, "Only if you tell me that you're my favorite child." It was like that.
Yeah, he tricked me into saying he was my favorite child, which is not true. Globally, I have no favorite children. I love them all
Liar.
equally. No, I was tricked. It was not a real admission of favoritism.
Dave, he doesn't even know my birthday.
Oh,
I
goodness.
do know your birthday.
All right. well,
Anyway,
let's
this
move on.
episode. Are we sure we want to do this episode, Dave?
Yeah, it's just like it's an intervention, Chris. You've been tricked. It's all right. Okay, so what is your most used video streaming service? Not the one you pay for, because that can get tricky. But which one do you use the most of the different services?
TikTok, probably.
No
if you want
way.
to count that. Or YouTube is my second.
What about
But-
like in the paid services like Netflix, Disney Plus, in that realm?
Hulu.
Hulu.
I use
Okay.
Hulu most.
Hulu
Yeah.
through Disney Plus, which because it's folded into that. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Which of the would you say of those services are sort of out of fashion for the kids these days? Are they like, that Netflix is lame. I don't want to watch a bunch of Spanish language shows or stand up comedy specials from comedians I've never heard of.
Honestly, I don't know that Netflix is considered lame. I think that everybody's more frustrated with Netflix because they keep stopping good shows after the first season.
That's a fair criticism. They do have a tendency to do that.
I feel like HBO Max is not used as often.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In our house, that's maybe the most used one. I would say.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I have access to it, but I have access to it because my friend pays for it.
Sure.
So I think that Disney and Hulu are more popular because they give you student discounts.
Okay. I didn't think about that angle.
Like people are my age, not our age, like that. And then Spotify as well, same thing.
My son
Student
uses
discount.
Spotify because of the student
Love
discount.
Spotify.
Even though I have an Amazon Music family account he can just plug into, but for some reason he wants the Spotify. So I don't know.
My dad pays for Apple Music, and I could use it, but I pay for a Spotify family plan so that my siblings and I can use Spotify.
That's how
Yeah.
cool Spotify is, Chris.
I'm dedicated.
We're lame. Apple Music, Amazon Music.
Actually, I think it's my mother's preference, not dad's
okay.
preference.
I am
Yeah.
very strongly in the Amazon Music camp because of multiple reasons: library, integration with the Alexas. So it's interesting.
I think my brother's into what's the app where you buy the albums directly from the artists.
Bandcamp, is that what it's called?
Bandcamp, yeah. My brother's really into that.
Yeah.
So
I've never heard of that.
It's really cool. Apparently, like 90% of proceeds go to them every other like Friday or something.
That's a way to support the artists directly.
Exactly.
It's a very indie kind of service. Like there's not a lot of bands that would get radio play on it. So it's
okay.
He's always listening to this really eclectic music, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And he says who they are, and I'm like,
Is that
know who
Taylor
that is.
Swift?
yes.
So the reason why I stopped you with the TikTok and kind of redirected because my next question is: do you TikTok? Is that a verb now? Do you
Use
TikTok? Okay. Do you use TikTok?
Actually, I did show a couple of my friends the "Do you TikTok" question, and we all did laugh at that. So that is wrong. But no, yes, I do use TikTok. I don't post anything. Actually, if you looked on my Instagram, there are like 5 posts from 2021 that are super embarrassing and I need to fix, but I digress.
We'll put a link in the show notes for that.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks.
Are you
I
following-
actually do think.
Are you following like specific celebrities or influencers, or what's the kind of content that draws you to TikTok?
So TikTok is very short form media based, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I like it it's kind of a lot of people use it as a mini search engine, if that makes sense. So like there's a search bar and like instead of going on Google and going, how do I take care of burn? I'm more likely to go into TikTok. I fear.
Yeah. It's great for second-degree burns. TikTok medical advice, really good.
Well, it's like basic advice that I could call my dad for or something. But like for the things that I can't call my dad for, like sourdough bread, I use it to like get recipes. I use it to look at funny videos. Cat videos are still popular with our generation. Don't worry.
Cat videos will always be cool. 2 more calibrations. This is fascinating. We're learning a lot of stuff here. This is really good. Physical books. What's the last physical book you read?
Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones.
Okay, and you read it like an actual paper book, not like a stone
Was it my
tablet
copy?
book.
Yeah. No, I do have a Kindle, but I find myself not reaching for it very often. And actually, it was my dad's Kindle that I stole from him. So.
All right. The books thing is a fascinating. I mean, I remember Chris and I had this original discussion. That is such an interesting. It is so much different than the other types of the tactile experience of a book is different than streaming versus DVDs and all that other stuff.
I might be more of a book hoarder than a book reader, but I do read paper books. Apparently one of my big red flags is that I do listen to audiobooks more than I read books, but that's because I listen to them while I drive.
Yeah.
So
I can't stay focused. I like podcasts, but I kind of dip in and out sometimes. And a book, I just feel like I need to be really focused. I just don't get as much out of it. So
That's fair. That's fair. I get too focused and have to turn it off.
Okay. Well,
So
all right.
at least in a win.
Last question, and I've observed this is a truly generational thing. Financial apps, it was just transferring of money, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. Do you use those, and do you have a preferred one?
I have all of the ones you just listed. And yes, I do. I prefer Zelle for the no fees. But I find that I use Venmo more often than not. I actually get like my paychecks through Venmo.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a nanny. So that's fun.
It's okay. So, and we pay bills. We use PayPal. We have all of them. But I've seen a generational divide where PayPal specifically is used and trusted or semi-trusted by older folks. And
I don't like PayPal.
Right. And even though I believe Venmo is owned by PayPal or Cash App, one of those is. And they're similar in a lot of ways, but I've seen a real generational divide. Like my son and my daughter, they've got all of them but PayPal. And if they have PayPal, it's for storefronts that take it for payment, but exactly. They don't transfer money. It's just really interesting. There's a real generational divide on that.
Honestly, I've had so many issues with PayPal. Like, I've had to contact support a couple of times, and I don't know, I just stopped using them as often. Zelle's, again, the easiest to use if, you have the right. It's really complicated to set up, but I like that I can have it instantly. Cash App's probably my favorite of the ones that you, send money through. But that's mostly because a lot of my friends have Cash App.
Sure.
So, makes it easier.
Yeah. All right. So those are the calibration questions. And I will say you mentioned Facebook Marketplace. I love Facebook Marketplace. I probably have, I buy so much stuff. And I sell stuff too, though. It goes both ways. I will sell things to fund to purchase on to fund to the next purchase. Like, I'll sell this and I'll pay for that. And that's how I justify it.
I'm so surprised that you do that. I'm not surprised.
Yes. But it's fun, and there's a social part of it. I've met people and sell things. You realize, and I contact them, say, "Hey, I've got something else I want to sell in this vein," or they contact me, and I trade things. It's really interesting. There's a social aspect to the marketplace stuff. I used to do that with Craigslist. I would, meet people and then I'd be kidnapped and held for ransom, and I'd be put in a cage for a week. But I find less of that, attempted murder on Facebook Marketplace. So
yeah, I think the reviews of the sell. I don't know if I don't really use Craigslist.
I don't. Yeah,
but I think that
anymore.
the reviews probably do help that part.
2 stars. Right, did not like Murder Dungeon. Thank you, Myra. I think folks will kind of get an idea of where you stand on these things. Let's talk about some of the subjects that we talked about in our last digital versus physical, and I'd like to maybe drill in on a few things that we did not get to as much. But so one thing I will say, Chris, is do you feel like there's anything that you have changed, any position where you've maybe switched or gravitated into a new direction, or you softened or maybe strengthened your position on since our last discussion?
Yes, and it's a pretty major shift. It surprised even me, and that shift is it has become exhausting to me to try to maintain everything. And what I mean by that is a lot of my drive for physical things versus electronic streaming or just, that style of hoarding as opposed to physical hoarding. A lot of my motivation was, what if this thing disappeared? And since we had that last conversation, it's become exhausting to me to try to maintain everything and to preserve everything. That's the word I think I want to use. It's become exhausting to try to preserve everything. And there have been some things that I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time to try to preserve that then in the time since the last episode, come to find out there was no reason to have to do that because a newer version of that thing is now available and it maintains it and it did the preserving for me. So then I'm looking at some of these things and I'm thinking, why did I put so much time, money, and effort into that preservation when now it's available in kind of a new way? So because of that, I've had a lot of thoughts about physical media where I'm maybe not as motivated to mess with it. And the idea of if something that exists in physical and it's maybe has the potential to disappear, I'm having a lot more faith that somebody else is going to preserve it. and it does not rest on my shoulders to be the caretaker of the world's data, which is kind of a freeing feeling. So one area that I have just completely abandoned physical media on, and this will probably be surprising to you, Dave, is movies. I can't keep up with it anymore. And I wanted to be into 4K Blu-rays. I wanted to have those physical things and to preserve them. But something that's happening with 4K movies is that they're hitting discs for literally a few weeks. And if you do not grab them within those few weeks, they are out of print and they're extremely expensive on eBay. Yep. I just can't keep up. Yeah. I mean, like that is ridiculous. And so I have just completely surrendered all movies to streaming. And I'm okay with that. So yeah, there's been some pretty big changes with me in this conversation.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. And I too have evolved in my position. I was always very much in the streaming only camp for music and movies both. But at the time I recorded it, I would proudly announce that I only owned one physical video game. And I've since really changed my view on that because I found that it was fun to collect the games. And so it just came down to, okay, I enjoy the experience of having this. And, you get the value of playing it. And you also have this collectible, right? Or this thing that you can trade. It's a store of value in some ways. So I changed my point of view on physical media for gaming, and I now have a decent sized physical game collection. Close to 70 physical games across different platforms. So that was a pretty big change. And also with books, I always had some books. I think last time I said I maybe had 9 books, and I realized I was underselling it. I had more than that, but I've really increased my physical book collection, focusing on things like hardcover. Hardcover.
What kind of books, Dave?
Yeah, hardcover books.
It's just like War and Peace.
Yeah, right. And really complicated Russian novels. Yeah. No, so I did. I've evolved in those areas, and I found the pleasure in collecting to a degree, and those things have collided. The media and the collection, and so I found it. But I haven't really changed movies and music. I've not changed at all. So I've expanded a bit. So we both have changed with the times, which is probably healthy, not to stay in place.
It probably is, yeah.
No, change is bad. Never do it.
Change is terrifying. Hide in your bunker if you have them scattered all over the country, like some of us do. I know not everyone has that, but
if not, introducing TMAG Rent-A-Bunker.
Rent-A-Bunkers. Oh, we could, start to Airbnb. One of those bees can be a bunker.
This is bunker.
Bed and bunkers. Folks, now where Chris and I we've moved in some areas, which is great. So to get that non-middle-aged point of view, Myra, why don't you talk about let's do movies and music, movies, TV, video, and music, and see where you are today. I know we talked a little about the streaming services that you like and don't like, but do you own any physical media? If you own it, do you use it? Do you actually, pop the disc in to listen to it, or the cassette tape? Talk about that.
Yeah. Some probably half of what I have is my dad's, actually. So I like to steal DVDs from him and video games from him, as
We
well
have
as
that in common.
consoles from him. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so he has these bins that he keeps in a garage, and sometimes I'll go and I'll sort through them, and I'll be like, I want this one. I'm gonna go shopping. Then I get to go, Dad, what do I need for this to play this game? And he gets to go, you need this controller and this console, and will I ever see this again? And the answer is yes, but also probably not. So
If he comes to your house and finds it.
and I'm 3 hours away, so he's got to work really hard for it. But so I have DVDs. I probably have not a lot. I have 30 tops. I used to have the DVD player that we had at my grandmother's house, and then I got sick of that, and so I've been using my Xbox to play DVDs because it's easier.
Yeah, it's a great. It really is a great player.
Yeah, Xbox, or I have my dad's PS4 that I could do. So, either or works out for me. And then I have for CDs, I have 10. I have a CD player in my car. It's really nice when I don't want to listen to ads, but also my phone likes to stip sometimes with Bluetooth, like I said earlier. I don't know if I said that while we were recording or not.
No, that was in the FM radio when you were talking about why you chose to listen to radio.
Yeah. They're not basic stuff like Pink Floyd, Prism. I have a Beatles album. I have, I think, a Taylor Swift album from when I was a child.
That up and coming star. I hope. Wish her the best. I hope she catches on.
Yeah, absolutely. Small artists, small businesses. Love to support both of them. Oh gosh, I think I have. Who's the guy who sings "You Raise Me Up"? I think I have that CD from Mimi.
Josh Groban.
Josh Groban. Yeah, I have a Josh Groban. I think I also have an Amy Winehouse CD from Mimi. Yeah, fun stuff. Movies are Studio Ghibli. Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of the ones that I have. I have a bunch of nostalgic Disney movies and the Robots movie. It's popular, very important. Not really, but
So it sounds like the physical media you collect, you're describing things that, like you said, have meaning to you. If you owned that disc and you also have a streaming service like Disney Plus that has the movie on it, do you go get the disc and put it in, or do you just go to the streaming service and watch it from there?
For nostalgia's sake, I do.
All right.
I really liked going and visiting vintage stock when I was growing up, and we would get vintage stock DVDs, and then we'd have to go home and watch all of them in the same night, because obviously, why would you want to paste that,
Right. Of course.
I think Dad used to say that this was our Blockbuster experience.
It's as close
but
as you
I'm not
would get.
100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took my youngest to vintage stock. She's been in there a few times. This is the first time she went and she actually looked at stuff and picked something out. She got a book. And it was fun. And I overpaid for the book. I realized that I texted your dad. I was like, I bought her this book. I was excited. And then I looked at it on Amazon. It was half the price. I'm like, oh. So what we should have done, I should have taught her, is you go to those places, you browse, you pick out what you want, and then you order it. And that's how you keep small business alive.
Or you blindly trust them, and it works out for you.
Right.
I did have a friend call Entertain Mart this great vintage video game store, and that made me sad.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I know better about vintage stock and Entertain Mart than other people my age do. But
that is sad.
It used to be great. To be
No,
fair,
good.
it used to be great.
It used to be
But to
great.
hear it
and-
as like a vintage game
It's
store
not a
is
vintage
like,
game store. Yeah.
no, it's not.
We do have
It
a
made me
legitimate
sad.
one in the area, but they have become so few and far between that people that they would see something like a Entertain Mart as a
And think that it's a great vintage store. Yeah. No, I remember my dad would make special trips to where you are and would go to visit that game shop either on the way back from your place or before you guys
in
like
Nixa.
started the podcast. Yeah, Nixa.
yeah, it's a great.
I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say that.
Oh
you know?
yeah, no. We make it
Internet
pretty clear.
safety and all
Yeah,
those
we're in
things.
Southwest Missouri, and yeah,
Yeah.
I went there last week. I took a lunch, and I had 20 minutes with driving time to spend in the store. I timed it so I could get back in time, and it
Did they
was
have
fun.
anything good, or was it like DS Mario Kart for $100 level?
No, actually, it was pretty good. I got some good trade value. I picked up a couple of Switch games, traded some in. So yeah, it was
okay.
fun. It was a fun way to spend the lunch hour. But okay, yeah. So you sound like you do have some physical media, but like I said, it has meaning, and you probably spend a lot of time streaming some things as well.
I do also have vinyls.
I was gonna ask about that. So how do you listen to your vinyls? Do you have like
On a record player.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have like an amp and all that, or is what's your rig, your sound setup?
I will probably get some sass from my father after this, because again, like half of them are his. But I just have like one of the basic ones that's from like, I don't remember the brand, Webster maybe, and it's like the suitcase style,
like the
record
Corley,
player.
maybe.
Crowley,
maybe, yeah.
Crosley is
I don't
Crowley.
know why.
That's it. That's it.
Crosley, yeah.
Something like that.
I have one of those. And I remember I used to have one that I sold my dad because I was like, I need money and I need something different. I had a much bigger record collection, but it was a lot of like Elvis and like things that I got from my dad's dad, my pa. So I sold it to him, and then he was like, wow, this record player is awful and wasn't actually worth anything. I just gave money to my daughter to give money to my daughter, sort of thing.
Did you post that on Facebook Marketplace and your dad bought it anonymously?
No.
Okay.
No, my dad is a higher payer than most collectors, I would argue.
You're also assuming I know how to use Facebook Marketplace, so
I could teach
That's
you.
true.
I know too well.
He knows how to use eBay, but not Facebook Marketplace. It's kind of confusing, honestly.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I grew up with one, and the other one is foreign to me.
Do you use eBay, Myra? Is that cool amongst the kids?
I use Etsy.
Etsy. I use Etsy.
eBay's kind of, I get told to go on eBay and find vintage video game things, and then I never actually do it, even though I say I will. But that's probably about
Am I
it
the
for that one.
person telling you to do that?
Yeah, you are.
All right, fair enough.
So you mentioned games. Let's talk about games. Talk about physical gaming and or digital downloads, streaming games. How do you feel about
I think
that?
digital downloads for like Switch are kind of dumb, honestly. I would prefer to get the game cards because I like to share the games with my friends. I do use Steam. Steam, I get mostly digital. I don't think you can get physical games.
It's the only
from
game
Steam.
in town for the PC. There's other
Yeah,
digital
absolutely.
services, but you don't have a lot of physical
But why
options.
would you use those?
Well, that's true. What is it? GOG, Good Old Games? Is that another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Epic,
sure is.
or I don't know any others.
Steam
Blizzard was one of them.
Steam has gotten to the point where it's almost like Xerox, where it's like people say, "Yeah, I got that from Steam," whether it's from Steam or not, if it's the name of the storefront, it just becomes synonymous with digital computer gaming.
I might either age you or show how young I am, but what is Xerox?
All right, it's the copy people, the people who make copiers, and they became synonymous with copy machines.
The useless machine? Is that what?
Yes. But they
I'm
became
referencing
synonymous.
something my father says.
Well, they are
for
kind of useless in this
context.
modern age. I very rarely use a copy machine myself because they produce paper, and who wants that?
Yeah. Well, I have a printer and copier myself, but
We do
You have a
too.
copier?
Yeah. Well, it's a printer copier combo.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
I use it to scan things in so that I can cut things out on my Cricut, which,
Okay, got that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So, what do you print off? Just curious, what do you mostly print off? I get the scanning part, but
I print off like resumes, other like paperwork things. Typically, I will, if I need to like have a list of something, I'll print it off. Because as much as I'm okay with my handwriting, I don't want to like write
Yeah.
forever and ever and ever. Yeah, that's probably about it though. I don't really do anything crazy on my printer.
I was just curious. It just seems like that's almost a dinosaur thing that the printers are. I mean, we print stuff so our daughter has coloring pages, and it doesn't get
Honestly,
used a lot.
sometimes I prefer to use the library printer just because I don't have to go buy ink.
Yeah.
So it's like 50 pages for free a day. So might as
Really?
well. Yeah. My library is great. I don't know about your library, but
It's not that great. Not
yeah.
Actually, when was the last time you were there?
Christian County's library.
Yeah, or Greens.
In Ozark, it's been years since I've been to it, or Greens. I took Ava to the Greene County Library several years back.
So I'm going to derail us a minute here because I'm curious about this. The library is actually kind of amazing now. So my question is like, how do you perceive the library? Because when Dave and I were growing up, the library was not useful. Like if you were not researching a topic, there wasn't much there.
It wasn't
for us.
fun.
I love the library. So the library itself, I'll go to like get work done, or like, if I want to like work on like drawing something specific and I'm really struggling to focus at home, it's like a good third space. But I really love, have you heard of like Libby or like any of the like online book borrowing services? Because it's really cool.
I have not.
So Libby is, you can get audiobooks, and you can get audiobooks on your phone and you can listen to them like in your car. Or I have a Sonos speaker, which is it's from IKEA. It's a big like picture frame shape, but the app, it lets you connect Libby to it and you can listen to audiobooks on your speaker. And I really, really like doing that.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's how I get cleaning done, is I'll turn on my audiobook and I'll, listen to the audiobook and clean.
What I recommend for all our listeners is when you want to clean, listen to the TMAG podcast. And that will motivate you. Just leave it on all the time.
Yes.
Listen to it on
I don't
YouTube.
know,
It will help us get our...
something about hearing my dad's voice while I clean.
A little too close to home, huh?
I'll listen to it in the car.
Tell me what your peers think of the library. Do they similarly have a positive outlook for it, or are you unique in that?
So it's like the library is like starting to seem like it's less popular. So they're starting to try and like take it away, sort of thing. And so a lot of my friends like to support the library for that reason, of they don't want to lose that resource. I have a lot of friends who love the Libby app but don't really go into the library. And then I have some friends who aren't interested in the library at all. It's just not a thing that they think about. But the library has a lot of great resources that a lot of people use and that you wouldn't even think about.
So my final library question, then we can move on,
Okay.
is all of the examples you've given sound like digital, like Libby and, online resources and that sort of thing. Do you ever check a book out from the library, or are you only using the digital options?
So I do check books out. I also check movies out sometimes, especially if it's a movie that I don't have on my streaming services. I think one that we did recently was Mr. and Mrs. Smith. If you've seen that movie, I don't know.
I have, and I'm wondering why you would want to see that movie, because it's pretty terrible. But anyway.
Well, yeah, it's a friend's comfort movie. She apparently watched it a lot. This is the same friend who likes Avatar, so you just really don't agree with her on a lot of things.
Jim Cameron's Avatar? James Cameron's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't like the Blue Man
Oh, no,
Avatar.
I can't stand it. So I'm in
Oh,
that.
really?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. I just watched the saga for the first time, including we went to the movie theater and watched Fire and Ash, and it was okay. I didn't see the first half of the first movie, and apparently there was a twin brother, and I didn't really miss it.
Yeah. Because there's not
So-
much of a story there. Doesn't it's
No.
Yeah, it's pretty. It looks like an animation feat.
Yes,
So,
it's a big
I bet somebody
technical
worked
demo.
very hard.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What you're describing with the library, the library is interesting because I have very fond memories of our local library. We had a brief discussion about this in our last episode, but it wasn't fun. But it wasn't fun in the sense that there wasn't toys there or activities. The fun part was discovering the books or whatever you were looking into, because it was the place you went before you could Google everything. That's where you found resources, right? And it was the fun part was sort of digging it up, and then the library smells. I just love the smell of old books. That was a lot of fun. But so when you go into a nice new library that feels more like a Barnes and Noble than an old crusty bookstore, I don't know. That's just not nearly as appealing.
I do prefer the old crusty bookstore libraries.
Haunted, maybe haunted.
Haunted. They do actually have like a lot of the kids sections are really cool. They do have toys, and they do have like a little like playground equipment in
Yes.
some of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, or if you're talking about like older childhood.
No, I was thinking of things like that, right? That did not exist for middle-aged people when they were kids. There was no toys at the library. There was kids' books, but there was no fun to be had. You read them so you could get your free Pizza Hut pizza, personal pan pizza, for the book club or whatever.
Dang, now they just do a tote bag.
I didn't. I was assuming that the pizza thing was still going, but.
No,
Oh,
I
that's
don't
so
think
sad.
so, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like a tote bag or a mug or something.
So
So
when you say when your dad and I talk about digital and physical, or any one of our generation, and you hear us kind of being passionate about it, do folks in your circle, do they care about this at all? Are we talking about something that other generations aren't even going to think about? I don't. Is it meaningful to us because we've seen the transition, and we remember the before and the after, or are we just arguing about something that's pointless? Which is probably a little bit of that.
are you asking me where your childhood is headed?
Yeah.
For the future?
Yeah. Yes. A little bit.
So I feel like a lot of it's pretty niche. I think that records became very popular. That's like a trend that hasn't fully died down, but I'm kind of starting to see it die down. Actually, I went to Target a couple weeks ago, and there were 45s of like K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes,
and,
I
like,
saw that at
Taylor
Walmart.
Swift and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
I
Did
had
you not
no
know about
idea.
that? Yeah.
No, I did
Yeah.
I
not.
saw the K-pop stuff.
The K-pop stuff. They're really trying. It's like a cool like I'm a book girl. You know, there's book talk
Hipster.
on TikTok. Hipster, yeah. I feel like most of the time, if somebody has a CD player in the car, they don't have CDs, or they only have like two. And then for movies, video games I feel like are more popular, but honestly, even for me personally, I have Game Pass and I pay however much a month to get access to a bunch of games because they're so expensive, and it's so hard being young and not having like a large amount of money.
I'm going to
throw
tell
at
you,
these things.
it's also hard to be old and not have a large amount of money. So don't worry, it continues to be difficult.
I don't know. When you're just settling down, you dream about having all of these things, and then you look at the price tags, and you're like, "Oh yeah, right. Reality does exist." Something that I think is more important is like board games and card games. I haven't met somebody in a while who doesn't have board games or card games, even one at their house.
That is so
So
cool.
that's kind of interesting. The like community aspect, I think, is
Yeah.
what makes that more popular. Just like having friends over and playing Uno is so fun. You wouldn't like think about missing it until you are hanging out with somebody and you're like, what should we do? And then you miss it. So
That's cool.
So I have a follow-up question about this, because it's really like the insight that you're giving to other people your age is really interesting to me. What is your view or your friend's view on ownership? Like, when you watch a movie on streaming, obviously there's no permanence there. Does that bother you? Does that even something that you think about? Or is it just like, oh, I got to watch the movie and now I'm moving on with my life?
Depends. One, what was the movie? Was it a good movie, or was it like shouldn't have watched that, but I did. Spent 3 hours of my life on that one. Or is it like
that was an Avatar reference, right?
Yes. Had to be.
Technically,
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think 4 hours. But like there are some that matter to me, and there are some that really don't. There are some that like I loved, and then I blinked and they were gone off of streaming service. Like there's a show called Over the Garden Wall that Cartoon Network did. It's pretty popular. It's another one of those niche things, I guess, and you can't find it anywhere. I think you have to buy it on Amazon Prime if you want it, like to watch it digitally. So that's like a real life example of losing it, and like we didn't realize that it was something to lose, so we lost it, or at least some of us did. I personally pirate it, but whatever.
So let me ask a question off of that then. You've lost it, and aside from the pirating comment, you had this show, you lost it. Is the thought process with you or with any of your peers, oh well, or is the thought process, oh, now I have to go obtain it because it's gone and I don't want it to be gone?
I feel like it's very sad. You mourn it, but you have so many options that it's kind of like you go and pick up something else, sort of. I mean, I'm so used to like Netflix only having one season on a show that I'm not like too heartbroken unless it's something that like truly matters and shapes who I am, like those sorts of things. I feel like we're starting to see the decline of physical things of media not being physical, or like, I mean, honestly, even like VHS tapes expiring. That's crazy. I don't know. I'd be so sad to spend all that money on something and then have it die. I don't know if that can happen with any of the
Even
things
DVDs
that we have now, but
disc rot
DVDs.
is real, and some of the early ones are subject to that, and it shows that nothing is permanent, right? But certainly the whole idea that you're paying for a license or access to something that could go away, or here's a question, and this is really for both of you. What about, do you worry that something might be altered or changed and you might have access to it, but you won't have access to the original version, maybe the version that you liked, or you just would like to have access to all versions? So for example, like, Star Wars is obviously the example. I don't know if that's a really good one, but it's because it's not something that was available digitally and then disappeared. But here's an example in the book world. Mark Twain books have been recently, being edited to take out, the racial slurs, right? Whether you agree or disagree with those things being changed, do you like the idea of having it in a paper form because you know that cannot be changed, that you have it and you can always, is that a concern for you?
Yes, it is for me. Like it's almost the driving force for me. And part of that comes from, I've mentioned on the podcast before how my early reading of 1984 really warped my brain. And so that idea of, if somebody has the power to change the past, then they have the power to rule over everyone. And so that, honestly, that terrifies me. And it's, even as I'm saying it, that's such a ridiculous statement to be like, well, since I can't watch the theatrical version of Star Wars, society might collapse. I understand that there is an element that's what I'm saying. But yes, it really does affect the way I think about these things. And it's part of the motivating reason why I collect and want to preserve these things.
I kind of feel both ways on this. There are some things that are like safety concerns, like in Lilo and Stitch. When, I don't know if you guys know anything about Lilo and Stitch, do you?
I've seen it. Yeah,
I've seen it, but that's all.
I get all of my safety advice from Lilo and Stitch. So I hope you're not
Well,
about
there's
to
a
ruin
scene-
my world here.
I don't remember if they're playing or if they're like fighting, but there's a scene where the little girl, Lilo, goes into a washing machine, and they changed it and edited it to be a desk or a table with like a pizza box that she closes, so that children don't think that it's fun to go in the washing machine. Like, that's a safety concern. I can understand that one being changed.
Hang on, I got to get my kids out of the washing machine. Oh boy.
You know, when I had cats, my cats really liked going into the washing machine.
I had that
don't
happen
know what
once.
it was. Really?
Yeah, I'll miss that cat.
Is that because they saw Lilo and
Yeah,
Stitch?
actually,
and
I do
they
think
learned,
so.
Okay.
Or like, I don't know. There are medias that are lost forever because, well, like Disney lost a Song of the South. They thought that was like, it was so bad that they took it off and they deleted every piece of existence that they could. And so now nobody knows that Disney did this crazy thing of making, a movie that Song of the South is.
I struggle with that, because isn't the next step being like, well, the story of Hitler is sad, so we don't want to tell that story anymore. And that really worries me. I'm a big slippery slope guy, and so I'm afraid that this is the start of a slippery slope.
So this is 1984 affecting your brain, right?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
I prefer it when Disney does things like with Peter Pan. There's a blurb that plays before the movie plays, and it's like, Disney knows this is outdated, but we're not going to take it off.
Yes.
And I prefer that. That's
Totally agree.
better in my opinion.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and there's been some instances that, right, Mark Twain, I did a little research, the French Connection, which is the 1970s Gene Hackman police movie, they edited out for streaming. There's like 6 seconds that were edited out to remove a racial slur. And does that bother me? Not well, yes and no, right? The idea that things can be changed and people don't realize it, at some point you can go too far. Not caring about the French Connection, it doesn't bother me personally. I'm not going to go out and try to get a physical copy so I can have that and hear a horrible racial slur. But it is the slippery slope does apply, and I do like Disney's idea, and I've seen that saying, hey, this doesn't represent modern views or whatever they say. It is kind of concerning. There's a few instances of that. I think that the book ones are some of the most egregious ones that really make you pause, but also doing things like changing the walkie-talkies into guns, or guns into walkie-talkies, excuse me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
In ET, yeah.
Well, okay, so it goes into the slippery slope that my dad's probably already on. Of like, what if they start like editing out like good things, like things that you'd want, like diversity or something. I don't exactly know what they'd edit out, but like that's also important.
That if we let that power exist, then who is going to police that power and use it for good? You're absolutely right.
It's like AI or something, right? Where it exists and people use it to make funny memes, but then it starts taking away jobs, and it's like, oh no, what did we do?
Yep. And they could usually use it to shape people's opinions, right? To forward a narrative or an idea. Things could be altered in all sorts of ways. Could seem unsavory, or it could be perfectly well-meaning but have negative repercussions. And so, so I do have some concerns about that, but I'm not sure that that's going to make me run out and buy physical things. I guess if it was something truly important, then I would seriously consider it. But I just haven't been faced with that yet. I would say things like religious texts, I say I haven't been confronted with. The world has been, right? There has been editing of religious texts that goes on in the world right now, and in totalitarian countries. And so I feel
like isn't editing of religious text kind of something that's happened for a long time? I mean, like, I just find myself thinking of like the King James version of the Bible. That was King James putting everything that he wanted together, right? I don't know. I know you like, Dad, I know you like the King James version, but like that's kind of like my understanding of the history of that version.
That was the impetus of him, wanting that translation was, his drive was, he had some ulterior motives. Let's say he just wasn't like, I want to put it in the common language for everyone. But no, that's a fair point, and that was in fact the government sponsoring some changes. Whether it really worked the way he intended it to is another question entirely. But I do think that. I think in modernity, where we are right now, it is still a problem, and it's a little bit more. Well, I mean, there are things that religious texts being edited actively by state actors and governments to either change a religious point of view or those sorts of things, right? And those are the things that concern me, and that would make me go out and buy and have a physical copy of those things. I already do, but. That would make me, maybe hoard even those sorts of things. It would have to come to that point in order for me to get so motivated as to want physical items, physical media for those reasons.
I've changed my mind. I got to go back to buying everything again. I'm sorry. I made progress, but now after this conversation,
you've relapsed.
It's up to me to save everything that's ever been created in the world.
Put another weight on your shoulders. Don't take it off.
Yes.
Life lessons. Don't take care of yourself.
We're going to need another intervention. One thing that I've seen, and I've observed this, and that is, these streaming services sprawl, digital sprawl, right? Like, it used to be the idea was, you get it digitally, it's easier to find things and whatnot. But now it's all over, it's fractured. Rights get, lended out to different streaming services. So you could log into HBO Max one day and have access to all the Batman movies. You log in the next day, and those are on Netflix because they signed a 12-month deal. Does that sprawl? Does that drive you nuts? Does that make you want to own some things not because you're afraid you won't be able to access it, but just because it becomes such a hassle to chase it down and find it, and you don't feel like there's any permanence to your ability to get to your own library or the things you like?
That issue, or the issue of, I don't want the streaming service, I just want this specific media, but I have to pay for the streaming service to have the media. It's very frustrating sometimes.
That's the subscription model. That's the drawback to that.
And I think it's only going to get worse. I mean, because we're at a point now where, and again, I'm talking myself into buying everything, which I don't really want to do. But we're at a point right now where if something moves streaming services or drops off a streaming service, it's still pretty easy to get it, right? Like, I mean, you could find a used DVD or a used Blu-ray or something like that. And so it's not to the point where like things are vanishing for good, but we're not far away from it vanishing for good. I mean, we talked about disc rot, and people maybe with my proclivities are going to keep buying these things and collecting them, and the price is just going to keep rising to the point where now if something drops off of Netflix and you're like, I really wanted to see that, or I wanted to add that to my collection, let me jump on eBay or Etsy or whatever else and find a copy. It's $500.
And shows are so long that like you want 8 seasons of a TV show and you have to spend like $100 on it
or more. That's on
more.
sale.
Yeah.
Never $100 and used. Yeah. Well, we always like to try to wrap our episode up with like, what did we learn? Well, what did we revisiting this? I feel like for me, Chris, I've learned that there are certainly some generational differences, maybe not as much as I would have thought. But I feel like we're going to continue to evolve, and the bottom line is that we're just going to have to keep up with the times, and we're going to have to deal with those things that digital is the future, and only you're going to have to be selective about what you try to have physically, because like you said, you will burn yourself out, drive yourself nuts, and go broke in the process of trying to collect and preserve all of those things in a physical format.
I will agree that I'm surprised at how similar the two generations represented here are. And Myra, I'm I'm impressed that you have thought some of these things through as much as you have, and like have developed these opinions. I think there is a perception of the younger generation that permanence does not matter, and that maybe even like there's a lack of interest. Like everything is a commodity, and nothing is special. And I think you've shown that there are a lot of things that you cherish, that you love, that not only from a nostalgia point of view, but also from things that you've discovered on your own without my influence or your mother's influence. And I think that's really cool. Now, Dave, to your point about staying up with the times, I don't know. I think I've learned that I've got 3 years worth of movies I got to go find on eBay now, because I haven't been keeping up, and I'm going to lose everything. So yeah, I got to go, and I hope my credit card is still active.
Myra, call your mom. Have her shut off all the credit cards right now. Just shut them off.
I think it's so interesting that you guys are feeling this way, and I just can't help but wonder if your parents felt the exact same way. Because, I don't know, maybe even more so, because you guys lived through a generation where computers became this like new big thing, and now I don't know that I could survive without my phone. So I don't know. Maybe also call your parents and ask them.
In 3 years, we'll do another episode, and we'll have my parents on the show to talk about it.
2 years and like 10 months.
Okay, yeah.
Don't sell yourself
just
short.
shy of 3 years.
Just shy.
I'm just wondering if my dad would have tried to have streamed cigarettes if he was alive, because he was really into smoking. I don't know. I'm not sure that would have worked for him.
Hey, e-cigarettes. You never know.
Oh, there you go. E-cigarette. I think you may have just solved it. Well,
I may have.
Myra, I'd like to close by saying I believe that the children are the future, and we should teach them well and let them lead the way, and show them all the beauty they possess inside. Chris, you've done well. Myra has represented an entire generation of kids, of young people. Right, kids. I don't mean to say that dismissively, but of young people. And we appreciate you coming on and talking to a couple old guys, and one of them happens to be your dad. Chris, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find more of these exciting conversations?
Absolutely. You can find us on twomiddleagedguys.com. That is the numeral 2, middleagedguys.com. And from there, you can get to our podcast. You can get to all of our episodes. You can get to RSS feeds and links to all your favorite podcast locations. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere except for Instagram and TikTok and Facebook Marketplace.
All
and
the places
YouTube
the
Shorts
kids like.
Dad, what's an SS feed?
RSS feed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what powers podcasts. So anytime you search for a podcast and you download a podcast, you're downloading it from an RSS feed. It's just you don't see the feed because you see like Apple Podcasts
so it's
app
like
or whatever.
Like a PNG, PDF,
No.
PNG. Oh, okay. No,
not really. No.
Got it.
We'll talk more about that offline.
Our next episode, what is an RSS feed? We try to break that down. That's a problem we're solving next episode. Well, again, thank you, Myra. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully, either I do it again or maybe one of your other children decides to love you enough to do it.
Probably not.
Oh, that's sad. What a downer.
What a bad ending.
Folks, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.